Hi, this is Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles and StudioCycles.com, and in this short YouTube video I want to talk about the Freemotion bikes with the Gates carbon drive. Now, I have been involved in the indoor cycling industry for close to 20 years as an instructor. I've built literally tens of thousands of bikes, taught thousands of classes. Former professional cyclist, and I am an absolute expert in the industry in terms of indoor bikes. And what sets us apart from most resellers is that we are an indoor cycling company. We have the only indoor cycling specific retail stores in the world. We do professional level refurbishing, and we're also the only company in the world, when you buy a new bike from us, we pull it out of the box, we tear the bike apart, we go entirely through it, and then we fully build the bike, and I personally ride and tune each bike without exception before the bike goes into the box. And when we box the bikes, we double box and overpackage the bikes. So we are the absolute exception to the rule. Now, when Freemotion first came out, I met them at one of the trade shows, and I rode one of their beta bikes, which was a one-off bike. It was at the trade show. And I like the feeling of the beta bike that I rode at the show, and I met the designer of the bike and people from the team and people from Freemotion who actually work for Foundation Fitness, the ones that designed the bike and took the design to Freemotion to manufacture. A lot of those people came from or were harvested away from Schwinn. So I was excited about the prospect of working with a company that had a bike that felt good. I sell Star Trek Schwinn, Kaiser, Le Monde. I carried Freemotion for a few months, but I dropped them. But when the bikes finally showed up to me, production bikes out of the box, they were very challenging, and they left a lot to be desired. They took a lot of extra work from my perspective because we sell built, tuned, optimized bikes. And quite frankly, I did the best I could to get their bikes optimized, put them in my retail stores, and quite frankly, the response was lukewarm. We just didn't sell them. And one of the things that I've discovered about the bikes and about the claims of the bike, the people behind the bikes, a lot of their claims, I think the best way to put it is that you need to experience for yourself. Now, a couple things about the bikes. The handlebars, it's one of the most barren handlebars out of all the bikes that I carry. There's just not a lot going on with the handlebars. Water bottle cages are fixed, and I tended to whack my knees on those. Adjusting the drivetrains on these bikes was extremely difficult and challenging. Because the adjustment is way here, right up next to the chain guard. They said that they put the dropouts facing forward for easy flywheel removal, but if you can't get the chain guard hardware out of the block, you can't get the flywheel off the bike in the first place. The other things is the direct power measurement claim, and also the first bike with direct power measurement. Now, Cyclops has been making a direct power measurement bike for long before Freemotion ever came on board. And direct power measurement on the Freemotion bike is done on one side. It's on the left crank arm. Now here's a couple of issues. If this sensor goes bad, it's mated with the crank arm, which means that if the sensor goes bad, you have to pull the pedal, pull the crank arm, and get a new crank arm with a new sensor because the sensor is mated to the crank arm. They say strain gauge technology, but the truth of the matter is that they're only straining gauge on the left crank arm. So if you're a left-legged person, it's direct power measurement. But since I have 2 legs, and most people I know have 2 legs, I don't believe that this is any more accurate than perceived wattage on the Kaisers or the Schwinn's. And quite frankly, on some of the bikes that I have with this computer, when I pedal the bike with the right pedal, and there's no strain gauge on the right pedal, it still reads wattage, which means that this thing is giving a measurement all the way through the left crank arm, the spindle, into the right crank arm, which is far, far from direct power measurement. And I've also had issues with the bikes not reading wattage at all. Now, getting back to the point, Belt's carbon drive technology. As far as I know, Freemotion is the first company to employ Gates carbon drive. So really, it's kind of, it could potentially be a guinea pig situation where the people who buy these bikes are going to be the test monkeys for the bikes. And one of the claims, or one of the things that was told to me, was that the Gates carbon drive has all the benefits of a belt and it feels just like a chain. And I will tell you that when I rode the Gates carbon drive Freemotion bike, it didn't feel anything like a chain. It didn't feel anything like a belt. It was very different. It was odd in a sense. Having been a professional cyclist and logged hundreds of thousands of miles on some of the best bicycles in the world, and having built tens of thousands of these bikes from scratch, refurbishing, professional building, trade shows, into clubs. I mean, I've put bikes into tons of Equinoxes and Spectrums. I've shipped them all over the country. I'm a pretty good tuning fork to how the bikes feel. And my take on the Gates carbon drive is it doesn't, I don't know quite how to describe it, but I didn't like it. It was not to my liking. The Kaisers have belts, the Le Mans have belts, and I know that in the Freemotion videos, they talk about the Kaiser and the belt and linear grooves, etc., etc. And quite frankly, the Kaisers and the Le Mans feel absolutely, they're very smooth and very quiet. But they don't have any type of aggressive inertia, which I think is the downside. Now, the issue with this belt system is it's not tried and proven on an indoor group cycle with a weighted perimeter weighted flywheel. And also I believe the weight, I could be incorrect, it's reported that the weight of the Freemotion flywheel is 32 pounds. And I know that they borrowed a lot of technology on the Freemotion bikes from the Schwinn AC series bikes, because the guy who designed the Schwinn series bikes designed the Freemotions. But I believe the Schwinn flywheels are 4 pounds heavier, which is more aggressive inertia, which in turn is more aid for a positive pedal stroke. I'm also not a big fanatic of the adjustable magnet basket on the Freemotion bikes. I think that could potentially have something to do with the fact that the bike may have alignment issues, and you need a magnet basket that you can align and twist and turn from front to back. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I'm Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles. You can contact me directly, 888-909-BIKE, 310-664-1375. Cell phone is 818-470-2204. I really had high hopes for these bikes out of the gate, and I really had high hopes for the Gates carbon drive. I believe there's some information online from Continental, which is a bicycle rubber company, about Gates carbon drives. I think there may be something on there about belt integrity, which may be worth looking into. But I'm Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles. If you're buying one bike for your home and you want a lifetime warranted top-of-the-line bike, call me directly. If you want 50 bikes for your club, professionally built and tuned, prior to shipping, this is the spot. There's no place on the planet like this warehouse or our stores in Laguna, Niguel, or Venice, California. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and best of luck to you on your road to health and fitness.